Hi, Capricorn. Shout out to all the Capricorns who understood why your reading had to be now. Let's start with the look, shall we? We've got the Pat McGrath signature headband, long hair look going on. This is the last look using the Mothership palettes. This look is by Yazzie. I'll leave her information below. She is the makeup artist for the channel. She styled it. She did all this. I chose the shirt, and I'll explain why. So, I feel like this look is perfect for you guys. It's moody, it's beautiful, it's earthy. And while we were doing the look, we were on Instagram Live. And it was like you could kind of sense how my personality was starting to kind of morph as I was mentally preparing myself for the reading. And as people were asking me questions, my responses were getting more and more clear and concise, to the point of almost being too harsh. And Yazzie noticed. She was like, this is the Capricorn energy. This is what they're like. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, no, it's so true, because the triggers were so subtle. So a while ago, I was out with a significant other's friends. And one of his friends was kind of like, sussing me out, feeling me out. And he said, oh, you're into astrology and blah, 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 which is a little bit diminishing. The way he did it was like slightly demeaning, but okay. And I knew right away what sign he was by the way he said it. He's like, oh, you're into like astrology and stuff, huh? I was like, yeah, it's a little more than that, but yeah, sure. He said, well, I'm a Capricorn. I was like, oh, no, really? What can you tell me about my sign? And I said, okay, way to put me on the spot, but okay, yeah, sure. Everyone thinks you're a really nice guy. You're the best. You're the best to have around, the best at parties, no drama, no foul, no, but there are these invisible lines, and people don't know where they are. And sometimes they trip right over them. And woe be the creature who step over that line, because then all of a sudden they see your horns and the speed of a fish, and they had no idea either one of those things was lurking. Those invisible lines, I felt them today when people were asking me questions on Instagram Live. Subtle things were getting to me. Subtle things were making me be very direct in response. And it made me realize what an oppositional nature you guys have. It's not ornery the way Virgos are, just oppositional just to be oppositional. It's not blunt and brutish the way Tauruses are, where they're just kind of going at everything with their horns. Two of Cups, great first card. It's oppositional. It's like, it's cardinal. You're too much over here. We got to be more over here. Balance this out. The more vague and more like throwing subs someone was being, the more direct and like right at them I was being. It's pretty good. I like it. I even like that the lines are invisible, because they're only invisible to people who have no manners. The lines aren't that invisible. The Star, Ace of Wands, bottom of the deck so far, the Fool. Let's keep going. So Two of Cups, the Star, and Ace of Wands. First of all, what about these three cards together? So pretty clear here. Love, opportunity, and the ability to fulfill a deeply held desire. The Star card, again, being a roadmap, being navigation on your trip, So you have this deepening of connections, which any astrologer this month will tell you that Capricorn will be in the midst of doing. But I like the way it's interpreted here. That deepening of connection, first and foremost, is going to happen between you and your love interest. If you don't have a love interest coming in around your time of the year is always a thing, and you guys know that. A love interest coming into your life at your time of the year when your planet is coming home to you after a very long stretch, it will come with its own reservations and difficulties, but for the most part, it will be fantastic for you, right? So, a deepening of connections or a finding of new connections. The road sign, the navigation prompts being, follow your bliss, that Joseph Campbell principle. What is the star representative of? That which brings you true personal happiness. A wish. The star is a wish, right? A wish, like my Capricorn moon son, my child, who's a Capricorn moon, and his first name is Murad. Murad means your wish, your one really, really deeply held desire or wish, something that you really want in life. A wish. So what is it saying? Two of Cups, the star, and then the Ace of Wands. So the star and Ace of Wands, a wish and an opportunity, a big one. A wish and an opportunity and connective experiences. So your wishes and opportunities for connective experiences are going to be magnified by a lot. How does that make you feel? I think it's great. I think you guys are well aware of the track that you're on. You've looked ahead far enough to be like, I see where this is going. I'm kind of fine. You know, I'm doing well with all of this stuff. It's very good. I can't think of anything. I'm trying to be like, but now remember, but I really can't think of anything. Oh, bottom of the deck, 10 of Swords. But let's see. Hold off. A card. Okay. Listen, 8 of Wands and the Tower. Okay. Let's look at them, yeah? Okay. So this is why I'm wearing this t-shirt. To protect from the evil eye and to ground myself spiritually for this reading. Because for a lot of you, that deepening of connection and getting your wishes and opportunities that you would like in terms of your connective experiences will begin to happen pretty quickly after about the 10th of the month, which is why I wasn't like worried about doing your reading super early. But that process may very well feel like the world is falling down around you. Not necessarily because it is, but because before you can get to this place of deepening connections that you wish and crave and have opportunity to get now, you can only do that when you, let me put it this way, when you start that process, this exacerbates anything under the surface that has kept this from happening. And those things now have to come up before they can get out. The coming up before it gets out can feel like the Tower card, for sure. For sure. Having to get rid of or having to admit to yourself that your block, that the thing that has been keeping you from your happiness is you, that will cause these Tower moments. Now, this is also reflective of the people, Capricorn, in your life that you may have made feel this way. You may have made them feel like you were the person of their dreams. like you were willing to offer them everything, only to pretty quickly turn around and turn everything upside down and take all sense of security away. Leaving the other person feeling quite vulnerable. I mean, to the point of being dead, and leaving you to be quite proud of yourself, both male and female. Quite proud of yourself emotionally, financially, and mentally. But really, is it worth all that? Right? Is it worth all that? So what, Capricorn, have you been doing? What is this karma that's coming back now? Towards the end of the month, this will catch up. And I think it's not stuff that's happening to you. I think it's stuff that you're doing to other people. I don't think this tower is you. I don't think you're going to be experiencing the tower in November. I think there are people around who really feel this way about you, and they're experiencing the tower moments. Right? Because you guys have this way of being where the savagery is on a whole other level. And I feel like when your connections start to deepen and you're out here really, you know, living life and taking every opportunity and being, you know, sociable and mingling and, you know, out there being a superstar, there is this, again, same card. Your deepening connections here, your ability to discern in your little cocoon before you come out for Saturn being in your sign, it's upending a lot. And you have Mercury and your ruling Saturn, ruling planet Saturn in the house directly before you in Sagittarius. So that means that your ability to communicate from your subconscious, your ability to restructure and really discipline your subconscious, it's all possible this month. All right, 5 of Cups. So I'm just going to pull one more. 5 of Cups. Yeah, because I feel like you are very regretful. You may seem very like smug about it now, but whether it's you that got really hurt in the situation or if it's the other person that did it, the remorse is real. The remorse may not actually fit the behavior. Bottom of the deck, Magician. You always got to be careful with that. You always got to be careful. That's the card of not telling the truth. That's a card of also not telling the truth. Be very careful here. Either you are lying or you are being lied to. This scenario is pretty clear. So either it's you or it's the other person. Especially if it's a water sign, a Cancer especially. So feeling regretful and hopeless, oh, the irony. Because when you have those placements in Sagittarius, going back and forth, they do a number on you. Even if these things are right in front of you, it's hard to believe that they can be yours. It's almost easier to stay here. Stagnant for sure, sad for sure, but somehow safe. Completely vulnerable, naked, open to everything, cloaked, boots, everything, like hidden. And then, so first thing that you have to notice here, now that all the cards are on the table, is that you didn't come up in your reading. You came up in so many other people's readings, but you didn't come up with your own. And what that tells me is there is a large percentage of you who really bought that you could, the only words that come to mind are get away with it, coast through it, not have to address it, charm your way out of it. But if that, see, okay, you can be like this and you can have other people feel this way because of you and still have good things happen to you because they're slated to happen this month and slated to set off a trend, okay? But the people that you will end up hurting have some power of their own. And that's very powerful, and I can see why that's why you're hesitant and don't know quite what to do or how to handle the situation because it's very tricky. I'm like confused trying to, you know, like just I'm doing the reading and I'm confused. I'm getting into that energy of like Mercury in Sagittarius, Saturn in Sagittarius, like ping-ponging almost, looping off stuff that has to do with the subconscious, having to dig into that part of you that, you know, subconscious, like that dark part of the basement that you never need to go to because you're just sure that something bad is there. All of that. This is your cocoon. Regardless of if you did this to people or if this happened to you and now you do this to people for that reason, this is the cocoon. Learn to mitigate these feelings so you can move past this center of the reading. You can move past this. The Nine of Cups here, the smugness of it, the satisfaction with self. It's in deep contrast to the Five of Cups, isn't it? But if you feel this way, how do you also feel this way? Well, only a Capricorn would be able to explain that to you. You can still feel really great about who you are and what you have and what you did to get where you are, and not at the same time not care about causing this reaction, even if it's to yourself. So don't get me wrong, this is not like just bashing you or something because you're hurting other people's feelings. I don't even know anyone who a Capricorn is hurting their feelings. It's not personal, but I'm just going by what I see. So coming in with speed, November is sure to be very, very interesting. I have a tendency to put all my hair back when I do anything, think, read, write. It's not definitive. It's not by any means a definitive reading, but I do feel like November is this amorphous, nebulous kind of month for you where you have to pull back. You have to go into your cocoon and your chrysalis. You need to deal with whatever muck and whatever gunk comes out so you can just keep checking it out. And by the time you're done and Saturn is, placed in your first house, you're going to get a whole other surge, a whole other boost of energy. Okay, so You guys are the last of the Pat McGrath Mothership looks. We did it. Shout out to the makeup artists. We had so much fun just doing all the things, really bonding, spending time like working on each look, figuring out what goes with what sign, kind of brainstorming on Instagram Live, figuring out what you guys liked and what you were envisioning. Such a beautiful way to celebrate our connection to each other. You know, a really simple way for me to show you guys how important you are. Not by saying it, which, you know, as Capricorns, you'll appreciate this, not by saying it, but by doing things that exhibit to you our level of commitment to you guys having a good time. Not just hearing some good news or bad news or hear something insightful, but also having this whole other aspect to focus on where you really feel like someone has gone through the effort to do. It's the small things, right, that add up to that larger, overwhelming feeling of love for someone, right? Like we've talked about in previous readings, you got to put the butter away. If you love me, put the butter in the fridge, that kind of thing. So Capricorn's like, well, if you love us, do our reading. Well, yes, okay. First of all, I'm not doing the reading because I really want as much of this Scorpio energy out of the way. Really, it's the only way to say it. Before I could kind of channel it, because it's so vastly, you know. But here we are, having done the looks, you guys being last with this amazing, like my favorite one, homage to Pat McGrath look. It would be you guys. We started off with your Halloween video and we're ending the holiday looks with your video. You know, beginning, ending, that whole Alpha Omega thing, pulling us out of the old year into the new year. You have the ability to pull now. You have the ability to put on a show now. You have the ability to be really changeable now. But what will you do? How will you wield that power, that gift, that opportunity? Like this? Like this? Like this? Like this? Getting to the heart of what's sitting in the middle of your reading like that, it's November will take you there. All right. So, once again, OMG, just feel like hanging out forever, so we can just do this because, wow, what a look. Wore this shirt, like I said, for protection. These are the I Ching trigrams. I Ching being one of the most amazing works of art I've ever come across. And why for protection? Because you go into your cocoon and everyone knows that what's going to emerge is so much better and so much different and so much more and so much extra than what was in the cocoon. And that process for you guys is a little bit murky, like the reading. But the payoff in December will be huge. So focus, but also let November show you. I love you all. I will see you in December.